like never before. Mouth-watering programs. Maza takes a break, and in comes football extravaganza. And a bouquet of the best of movies from the Orient lined up for you. Oh yes, November 2022 is like never before. Only on KBC Channel 1.
It's a hell of a way out here. And a crack for Neuvel, it's hit the post! Incredible free kick. Well, it didn't seem likely, with everyone expecting a cross to be delivered. Look at the power on this. Bending away from Marcos. I think it brushed the back of Roque Jr. on the way through. It's a great save. Fingertips from the goalkeeper onto the woodwork.
Good afternoon and welcome to KBC Channel 1. And remember, World Cup 2022 takes place in Qatar from November 20th to December 18th, and the 32 teams will compete in 8 groups. And remember, World Cup Eco KBC. And my name is Jackie Wambiru. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. And to kick us off, we shall be crossing over to the National Assembly, where the vetting of principal secretaries nominees kicked off Monday, with 4 National Assembly committees conducting approval hearings. The 51 nominees who have already been interviewed by the Public Service Commission are being vetted by the departmental committees, which will then table their findings before Parliament for approval. Let's cross over to Parliament buildings for a listening.
My training makes me suitable for this office, if confirmed, in the sense that I'm coming with a mind that is able to design tools for collecting information, analyze them properly, and be able to communicate to inform whether certain interventions need to be made, and having the capacity to look at. So, for example, we are talking about the cattle rustling. We have the crime situation, we have the crime gangs. And we have reports that all over. And it's important that the action takes place, so that when you intervene, then you're able to get the maximum impact. You only get that from a statistician. Now, across, whether in the field, with the private sector, whether at Lake Basin Development Authority. And in the private sector, I talked about our research work, intervention that changed lives. At Lake Basin Development Authority, when I went in 2019, an evaluation by the Public Service Monitoring and Evaluation Secretariat put the institution at number 200 out of 227 parastatals. After a year, when the same evaluation was done, we were number 27. That speaks to my capacity, of course, working with teams to make a difference. The year before I went to Lake Basin Development Authority, the audit report or the Auditor General had given an adverse report on the institution. We will be getting a clean report based on the ML that we have received. So these are some of the things that to get.
Well, we do apologize for the network interference there. We shall be bringing you up to speed in our subsequent bulletins. And remember, the PS nominee vetting includes confirmation of whether the nominees have the statutory clearance certificates from institutions such as HELB, KRA, the DCI, and the Registrar of Political Parties. And now we move on to Kakamega Golf Hotel, where earlier on the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Chairperson Archbishop Eliud Wabukala launched a capacity building workshop for religious leaders in Kakamega County. The event was part of a strategy by EACC to enlist the support of religious leaders in the fight against corruption and promotion of ethics in Kenya. Let's listen in.
Yes, this is a forum which EACC has organized for awareness and also support by the religious sector in the fight against corruption. It's part of our strategies as EACC, falling under the Directorate of Prevention to meet all religious leaders in the country at various stages. We have entered a memorandum of understanding with the Inter-Religious Council of Kenya, and we keep holding this kind of forums across the country. So today, the religious leaders in the Western have come to Kakamega, and we have a workshop together to learn about the nature of corruption that we have specifically in the Western, and also to discuss together on how we can help to prevent it. Basically, it is a preventive arm of the Commission, and we are very delighted to have quite many of the religious leaders here with us to attend this forum.
You have, in your past talks and even today, you have repeatedly asked the church to take a center stage in terms of fighting corruption or educating the masses in terms of fighting corruption. Where are we? Are you happy with what is happening? Because I heard you asking NCSK not to be on the back burner, not actually come on the forefront and actually try as much as they can to.
Well, it is an encouragement to notice that, as you see here, there are quite many who have come forward. That is already a sign that religious leaders are ready to put things which are wrong in this country, to put them right. And in my approach as a religious leader, I've been chairman of NCCK, I've done very many things. I have also to give them the advice, if possible, just to say that let's soldier on, because the church is the voice of the people. The religious sector, whether the Muslims or the Christians, the religious leaders are the voice of those who are not able to access this kind of forum. And therefore, it's good for us to work together, but as church leaders among themselves, to be able to stand up for their congregants, to ensure that the congregants are supported, are served properly in a nation that gives them justice. And so in my interaction with religious leaders, I always encourage them and help where it's possible to identify where they can actually up their voice in terms of supporting this nation. Yes.
Chair, have been at the helm for some time now. The question then is that are you happy with the progress made by EACC in terms of fighting corruption and other issues in the country? And two, probably the achievements and where you think we can actually improve on?
Well, I think where I stand, if I look back 6 years ago, EACC has made a lot of strides. First, it is stable, and to achieve that stability is important, so that the officers in the commission can professionally focus their attention on fighting corruption. And we are very happy that as constituted now, it's a very stable commission that is focused to do its mandate. So I'm happy that progress is made, and of course it is never 100%. It should continually be something that is sought for. So part of what you are saying is to look for stakeholders and collaborate in terms of expanding actors in this forum of fighting corruption. Media, for example, has been very crucial for us, and we shall continue to partner with media, religious sector, professional bodies. All of them are part of what we always use to fight corruption. Yeah.
Talking about professionalism, the Commission relies on other institutions.
And now, in other news, former Narok gubernatorial candidate Moitalelo Lekenta has, through his lawyers, filed an application to withdraw a case challenging the election of Narok Governor Patrick Ntutu. The hearing of the election petition was poised to begin Monday at the Narok High Court. The High Court has now given the respondents and IEBC 2 days to file their response to the request presented by Lekenta's advocate Parsin Masikonde. The move by Kenta was reportedly influenced by the Maasai Council of Elders, who urged leaders to unite for the sake of peace and unity of the Maa community. The national and county governments have been urged to double drought mitigation efforts to protect starving families in drought-stricken counties and avert human trafficking cases related to the famine. This is an anti-human trafficking organization raised the alarm over human trafficking in Kajiado County, saying young girls are being lured to the Middle East. The organization donated relief food but still calls for more mitigation measures to ensure starving families are cushioned.
As the country continues to battle the adverse effects of the ongoing drought, Kajiado County residents are raising concerns over human trafficking and other social vices associated with the drought. The Manami organization, which donated relief food to affected residents, say trafficking, especially among young girls, is on the rise, as most of them are being lured to work in the domestic work sector in the Middle East.
These vulnerabilities, we all know that they are aggravated during such kind of climate disasters, such as drought. These kind of situations act as a breeding ground for traffickers. These kind of situations act as a breeding ground for traffickers.
A local chief further added that if interventions are not initiated fast, then most learners who are candidates may not sit their national examinations.
Kama hujaweka chochote kwa tumbo, hakuna kitu unaisikia. Ni njaa inaumiza watoto. Hata akienda kukalia hiyo mtihani, lakini ako na njaa, hawezi fanya hiyo.
Wachungaji tuweze kuhusika kwa njia yoyote ambayo inawezekana kuchanga siku za Jumapili, alafu tunaweza kutembelea zile mboma ambazo ziko na hali ya kulemewa.
Residents called for joint mitigation from both levels of government. Yusufar reporting for Lunchtime News.
Well, that report by Yusufar brings us to our first break here on Lunchtime News. Don't go too far. We'll be right back with more news.
Do you have a news story to share with KBC? Get in touch swiftly on email news@kbc.co.ke or call 0723-892-654 or 0734-780-124.
To get Proverbs chapter 3 verse 5 as your skiza tune, dial star 811 star 967 hash.
Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not in your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 to 6.
To get Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5, dial star 811 star 967 hash. Star 811 star 967 hash.
Take on Tech, a weekly program that brings you technological debates and concepts. Let us assume we have a young innovator who has come up with an app.
Financial technology and financial services is a very complex game.
Keeping you up to date with the latest tech news both locally and internationally. Apple has lost its position as the most valuable firm amid tech sell-off. We also explore different innovations by our very own young innovators. Make sure you don't miss. Tune in every Monday at 10:30 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Hi, my name is Mr. Otieno. Na ukumbuke FIFA World Cup 2022 iko hapa. Here in KBC. Na kuhitaji. Karibu.
Welcome back. The National Council of Churches of Kenya, in partnership with the Methodist Church of Kenya and Water for the World organization, has commissioned the first water project in the area of Jilo Dima village in Kina Ward, Garbatula Sub-County. Ali Wario Sarite, Isiolo County Executive Committee member for Water, Sanitation, Environment and Natural Resources, lauded the initiative, noting that it will go a long way towards helping the local community access clean drinking water.
Ingereza wanasemaga maji kuna waterborne disease, water based and water related. In fact, majority ya ile ugonjwa nyinyi mnaenda hapa hospitali yote inatoka wapi? Maji. Na ukipata maji safi sasa, si unaona hata afya yako imekuwa safi. Vile Reverend alisema maji, sasa ninaona hapa kuna kitchen garden. Hiyo imeleta chakula.
And on health matters, health experts have reiterated the need for self-cancer screening to enable early diagnosis and reduce the cost of treatment. The experts say that many Kenyans are shying away from screening centers, making cancer detection a big challenge, especially in the advanced stages.
Katika dispensary. Speaking at a cancer awareness and free screening at Tenri Hospital in Embu, cancer specialists from the Kenyatta National Hospital observed that early screening was the first step towards curing cancer.
Ugonjwa wa kansa inaponyeshwa kama ugonjwa zingine. Huwa ni stage umekuja.
Dawa ya kansa ni kujulikana mapema. Ishikwe mapema. Ikishikwa mapema, arafu ipatiwe right intervention, inapona.
The experts further advised residents to report any changes in their bodies that may be a symptom of some form of cancer.
Ni muhimu sana kuangalia kama kuna uvimbe wowote ambao uko ndani
inafaa ujitokeze na useme kuna uvimbe ambao si wa kawaida.
Leaders present appealed to the government to undertake a public-private partnership with the private hospitals to ensure residents in the counties have access to quality healthcare and at affordable prices.
Kuna private kama hii tena. Mmeona watu vile wamejaa. Ningetaka serikali ya county governor na private kama Jimmy wawe na partnership, kwa sababu kile muhimu ni watu wananchi, na ndio tunataka wawe na afya mzuri.
Jacqueline Masharia for Lunchtime News.
Still on health matters, the country has made tremendous progress in regards to mental health awareness, mapping and ending stigma. Acting Director General, Ministry of Health, Dr. Patrick Amoth, however, notes the sector is still facing financial challenges. Speaking during the launch of a 5-day workshop bringing together health experts from Eastern Africa countries to discuss ways of integrating mental health and psychosocial support into national emergency preparedness and response plans, Dr. Amoth noted that investing in the training of frontline workers to provide psychosocial support and mental health care will ensure mental health wellness, especially during pandemics.
Mental health into the realm of public health. We are in the era of pandemics and epidemics, one after the other. So if we can be able to build a resilient health system, then we'll be able to cope. Otherwise, lessons from COVID-19 clearly show that it is not about your might in terms of your economic power, but the system that you have in place that is going to save lives.
Kakamega County member of the National Assembly, Elsie Mohando, is urging members of the Kakamega County Assembly to formulate laws which financially cushion expectant mothers who deliver triplets or more. According to Mohando, Navakola constituency leads in the number of women who deliver more than 2 children at once. She made the remarks when she visited Mary and Oliver Wanyama at their home in Namirama village. The couple recently welcomed triplets. Mohando, who was accompanied by MCAs Benjamin Were and Evelyn Shitandi, donated food and non-food items to the couple.
Napata watoto wawili kusonga mbele, kwa maana mara mingi katika Kakamega County tumeona familia hizi zinakuwa za ulemevu sana, zimelemewa kwa njia moja ama nyingine.
A group of teachers in Kakamega County under Invest and Grow SACCO is calling on the government to ensure public schools are well equipped to implement the competence-based curriculum. Speaking during an event to donate education materials including sewing machines and the Simitis Special School in Malava, Richard Shiaru, Director Grow SACCO, says the aim is to ensure that the students get quality practical skills.
Lengo lake haswa ni kuwapatia hawa watoto skills ambazo zinaweza kuwasaidia katika maisha yao. Si tu masomo yale ambayo tulikuwa tunapata hapa awali, unapata mtoto amepita ndani, akienda kule mbele, unapata hana skills ambazo zinaweza kumwezesha at least even to earn income.
In other news, the county government of Busia has pending bills amounting to 1.7 billion shillings and a KRA debt of 637 million shillings rather. Deputy Governor Arthur Odero says the bills were brought to light by a task force that was established by Governor Paul Otuomer to establish pending bills and stalled projects.
Speaking in Agenga Nanguba ward in Funyula constituency, Deputy Governor Arthur Odera said they will do everything to ensure all legal bills are dispensed with. He said the executive will strive to ensure services are rendered to residents of Busia.
Tumeachiwa deni ya 1.7 billion ambayo hatujui ilienda wapi. KRA wanatudai 637 million. Hatujui ilifanywa nini. Hata kabla sijataja mengine mengi, hayo tu kwanza ni mawili ambayo tunaenda kumweleza governor. Haya ndio mambo tuliacha, na mengine mengi, lakini tuko na nia na tuna hakika kwamba licha ya hayo yote tutaweza kuwafanyia watu wa Busia kazi.
Majority Leader Josephat Wandera urged residents to give the government time to create structures, adding that at the moment they have already disbursed drugs and non-pharmaceuticals.
Sasa hii madawa iko kwa hizi villages. Imekuja. Si imekuja? Mimi mwenye anasema hakuna huyo shetani ashindwe. Mimi nataka kuhakikishia madawa ilitoka last week na health workers wako kwa ground wanafanya kazi. Tunaelewana? Haya, kama bado tutatuma watu wakuje, ward administrators, village administrators muende kwa hizo village. Tuone kama hiyo dawa bado zijafika, si ndio? Haya, lakini kwa upole najua madawa zilitoka na tutafuatilia tuone village yenye ijafika.
We shall be taking a look at news-making headlines in the business world, and on our interview segment we shall be interviewing Richard Muteti, who is the CEO of the Federation of Jua Kali Association. For now, let's take a look at a different story where Kenya has suspended bulk exports of avocados pending a review in January next year in efforts to protect the market for local produce. Horticultural Director Benjamin Tito says a survey carried out last month established that there is a shortage of mature fruits to support large orders and deter exports of immature fruits that might affect shipment of Kenyan avocados.
The Horticultural Crop Directorate has imposed a 3-month ban on export of avocados, informed by a survey carried out last month to ascertain the maturity and projected volumes that showed insufficient mature fruits in orchards across the country to support bulk exports. The Directorate says the off-season crop is inadequate to support shipment and will interfere with the cropping cycle of the trees, thereby reducing projected volumes in subsequent harvests. To avert the sale of a mature Kenyan avocado in the international market and protect the Kenyan brand, the Horticultural Crop Directorate has closed the harvesting season for Hass, Fuete, Parkington and Jumbo varieties and shipment by sea for the 2021-2022 season effective from tomorrow. Exports of off-season avocado shall only be done by air, subject to inspection and approvals from the Directorate. The suspension applies to all exporters of fresh avocado and avocado oil. The Horticultural Crop Directorate says a review of the avocado export suspension will be reviewed in January next year after an assessment on the available stocks is carried out. The export suspension comes after Kenya shipped 1.7 million kilos of avocado, worth 7 billion shillings in the last 3 months, after China relaxed export requirements to allow importation of fresh avocados. Benson Druba reporting for Lunchtime News.
Now moving on, Kilifi County Government has initiated plans to collapse all operational and approval licenses for entrepreneurs into one. Kilifi Deputy Governor Florence Chibule says the move will see the county attract more investors.
It is a sigh of relief for hundreds of jobless youth in Mtwapa, Kilifi County, after the county government, in collaboration with Mili Group of Companies, a manufacturer of food items and beverages, unveiled the Mtwapa Business Park, which houses 42 warehouses. Each warehouse has potential to employ 100 people and is expected to create over 4,000 direct employment opportunities to Kilifi residents.
Now we're telling people come here, create employment, because basically the Kilifi County employment has to increase, and our promise is to create employment. So once you build 42 warehouses here, each warehouse will normally take at least 100 people, employing people, 100 people. So numbers are going to mind-boggle, and this is not it. If this goes well, we have further land. We're also going to open a retail mall on the main road on a 2.5 acre plot to again make Kilifi, like Madam said, a 24/7 economy.
Kilifi County Deputy Governor Florence Chibule says the devolved unit has initiated plans of collapsing all licenses such as the single business permit, health, fire and safety permits into one licenses to lower the cost and make it easier to do business in the county.
Kwa sababu ya hii park ambayo imezunduliwa siku hii ya leo, hakika tunaangazia uchumi wa 24 hours economy, na pia tunaangazia jinsi zile kampuni zingine ambazo wameshikana na wao ambao wako hapa pia. Pwani Oil, kuna ile Revital Healthcare, kuna wale watengezaji wa peremende na wengine wengi. Tunasema jamani, kile ambacho mili wamekifanya siku hii ya leo, tunakaribisha wale wengine wakapate kutuunga mkono, wakapate kutushika sisi Kilifi.
Frederick Muki for Lunchtime News.
And as earlier promised, we are now going to cross over to our interview segment where we shall be discussing matters adopting technology in the Jua Kali sector with Richard Muteti, who is the CEO of the Federation of Jua Kali Associations. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
And now just to kick us off, when we look at the manufacturing sector, what is the role played by the Jua Kali sector in complementing the government efforts?
Well, thank you very much for having me here in studio. As you've heard, my name is Richard Muteti. I'm the Chief Executive of the Kenya National Federation of Jua Kali Associations. And before I go to your question, I think it's important to demystify what Jua Kali sector is. Apart from complementing the efforts of the government in the affordable housing and the housing programs, I would like to mention here that Jua Kali sector touches on livelihoods every day. Jua Kali sector and the word as it connects, I would like to clarify that Jua Kali sector means sharp knowledge sector. It's the only sector whose members can do to you services and programs without having gone to school. It is attested by the fact that the Noah's Ark was created by the Jua Kali sector then. Back to your question. Well, what we are complementing the government in the did you say construction?
I said in the manufacturing sector.
In the manufacturing sector.
Yes.
Well, as I said earlier, the Jua Kali sector is operating in around 18 subsectors, and we are daily involved in that production. We have several Jua Kali association clusters. Most of the most common ones are the metal fabrication clusters, woodwork clusters, motor vehicle engineering. We manufacture. We are in all the value chains. Coming back to the complementation, every household in this country is touched by the work of a Jua Kali sector. If you look at the utensils that the Jua Kali sector are producing all the basics that you can imagine in the lower segment of the economy, from the sufurias to the wheelbarrows to the jembes that people go with to the farms. You know, now we are even cannibalizing generators and constructing and building tractors. We are in the roofing, tiling, house constructions and so on. So yes, we are complementing, and we've been doing it even before independence.
Very well. And with emerging trends in the digital space, how has the Jua Kali sector been incorporated or has been able to merge with the trends, for instance, social media, as well as other tech platforms?
Well, that is a very interesting question. Before the entrant of the IT segment in the Jua Kali sector, we had been faced by serious problems of how to save. For example, a Jua Kali artisan selling kiondos or selling sufurias or doing mechanics would make some money from morning to midday. Then he needed to close the workshop so that he can go to the bank and queue. And you know, most of our queues in the banks take almost 4 hours. So this was very disruptive. In the advance of the IT revolution, we are very happy that most of the Jua Kali sector artisans are using IT technology to do their savings. They are doing their IT technology to do their booking for their raw materials and so on. I'm happy here to inform you that we are having a current program with Zamara that is called Fahari ya Jua Kali, where our members are saving on a daily basis through IT platforms without leaving their work sites. Also, on about your social media questions, most of the Jua Kali sector people are now even marketing their products and bring their awareness through the social media. We are getting there, and I see there's a lot of benefits that come about on the IT, but we are yet to integrate fully. We're also using IT to design our products. Very soon, I'm sure you've interacted with some of our products in the market that are very well designed. We are working closely with development partners. Recently, we are now in very good working relation with the TVET subsector, and IT is changing the lives in the Jua Kali sector.
Well, you've mentioned the TVET sector. Perhaps taking a look at the technical and vocational education training institutions, perhaps how has it incorporated Jua Kali, and rather what is the role they are playing in the sector?
Well, honestly, this is a huge phenomenon. I must say here that we have not yet established an institutionalized relationship with our TVETs. We have some sort of relations, and you must be aware that the Federation of Jua Kali Association has been advocating for recognition of pre-learning. We have realized that the skills that are in the Jua Kali sector, some of them cannot even be found in the TVET sector. We are saying that we need to work very closely with the TVETs. We have around, I think, roughly 1,300 TVETs in the country. We have more than 5,000 Jua Kali associations in this country. The two segments, institutions, provide the same thing to the society. The TVETs are bringing skills to our students and our people. The Jua Kali sector is bringing raw skills for survival every day. So we are looking at a situation where we have an institutionalized relationship with the TVET so that we can do two things. Number one, so that the TVETs can be incubation centers for the Jua Kali sector. Number two, so that we can address the issues of quality and productivity and competitiveness of the Jua Kali sector products. I'll give you an example. When the sector was requested to produce school desks, we lost an opportunity of an institutionalized relation with the TVETs, where the TVETs would have been the incubation centers, storage centers, and we would even have done joint ventures with them. There's a lot that our people can learn from the TVET sector, but there's also a lot that the TVET sector can learn from the Jua Kali sector. We are looking for a relationship where the students from the TVETs can come to the Jua Kali sector and learn practical initiatives. I'll give you an example. We had an opportunity of visiting some TVETs when we were looking for these relationships. And my people, especially in the wood cluster and the metro subsectors, they said they have nothing to learn from the TVETs. Some of these TVETs are using obsolete equipments. And they were shocked that our people who are operating on the trenches are using modern equipment than them. If you go to Ngong Road, you can see the kind of furniture that is coming out from those guys who are operating without roofs, without the benefit of modern workshops and work sites. If you go to Kamukunji, you will find a lot of lorries coming to pick products from the regional countries for export. So what I'm saying is that I'm happy with the current government. This is the first time that our sector has been focused real time, practically, by almost everybody now, because now the talk is about the hustler. The talk is about the Jua Kali sector. The hustler and the bottom line economy is about the Jua Kali sector person. We need to change the way the Jua Kali sector person is operating so that we can even generate more employment to our people in this country. And the relationship with TVETs is one that is very serious and we are emphasizing on.
Well, other than improving the relationship, and perhaps what is the role that TVETs can now play, just go a step further in incorporating the Jua Kali artisans so that you can be able to merge both and actually flourish?
Well, some of the roles, as I said to you earlier, would be answering to what are the issues that are impeding our growth, productivity, and competitiveness. And as I told you earlier, we are talking about quality of the products that we are producing. We are talking about standardization. We are talking about patenting of our products. Well, the value I'm seeing TVET bringing to the Jua Kali sector is giving us a platform of a dignified production methodologies, a platform of increased efficiency in the way we are doing our production, a platform of interacting in a situation where our artisans are also given an opportunity to teach in the TVETs and vice versa. Some of these lecturers in the TVETs, they are very good lecturers, but they have never done business. They have never produced anything for sale. If you look at a lecturer in a TVET institution teaching about woodwork, there's a lot of drawings, but our artisans, our Jua Kali artisans are doing the real thing. Or at Kikomba, they are doing the real thing on Gong Road. So these two differences is what we are looking at bringing together. Then, once we merge, I'm seeing now the TVETs giving us an exposure. We need to look, we need to look at how is German doing it? How is the first world doing it? How is the Asian countries doing it? Why is it that the technological advancements, the cottage industries in these countries are so advanced? Then together with the TVET system in this country, we can move to the next level.
Very well. And the government is committed to close the housing gap, which stands at 2 million units as of October 2022. And what is the role the affordable housing program has played in support of the Jua Kali sector, as it is a key pillar in the government's agenda?
Well, we are talking about the affordable housing. I need to say 3 things here. First, I need to thank the government so much for finding it fit to use the Jua Kali sector artisans to produce the doors and windows for the affordable housing. This is a serious initiative. It's a game changer. It's going to create a lot of employment opportunities to our people. In addition to that, the affordable housing infrastructure has identified 69 products that can be produced by the Jua Kali sector. The Jua Kali sector producing 69 products, including hinges, doorknobs, and so on. This is going to be a serious, number one, incubation center for efficiency and skills development for our people. Number 2, is going to mop up the idle youths, the idle skilled people that are out there who have not been used properly. Now, and I'll tell you that we need to do this in tandem with the recognition of pro-learning policy in Kenya. We need to fast track that so that the skills that we have in the building subsector in this country from the Jua Kali sector can be identified and certified, so that when we supply our people to this affordable housing process, we give the country the confidence that it deserves, that our people are skilled. And I'll tell you something, in the rural areas, almost 90% of all the houses are built by Jua Kali sector people. Nobody asks a Jua Kali sector artisan where they went to school. The neighbors just tell you, I want a house like my neighbors. They don't ask you who built it or where did you go to school. So I want to give you the assurances that we are up to it, and we thank the government for giving us that opportunity. I want to move further and say that we also should continue the issues of school desks to our people. Give the Jua Kali sector opportunities. We are everywhere. We are in all the villages in this country where all these primary schools, secondary schools, and so on are there. It's so unfair for the institutions to import furniture which can be built behind your backyard by the artisans that are living in your environment. I want also to say that the Jua Kali sector lives up to the emerging challenges. When we were faced by COVID, it is the Jua Kali sector that started manufacturing the masks before they were even imported. They used the textile, they used the clothes, but they worked. I will tell you that we are powering this country by producing school uniforms. School uniforms have always been produced by the Jua Kali sector artisans. Go to Uhuru Market and see how more than 500 tailors are working, and you'll appreciate the work of the Jua Kali sector.
All right. Now, President William Ruto will launch the Hustler Fund credit and savings product on the 1st of December this year. How will the Hustler Fund impact the lives of individuals in the Jua Kali sector?
Well, the issue of the Hustler Fund is a big issue. The issue of the Hustler Fund is giving a lot of hope to a small business person. A small business person that includes the Jua Kali artisans. One of the biggest problems that the Jua Kali sector has faced in this country is lack of affordable credit and affordable finance, both personal and for entrepreneurial purposes. If you look at the way we are doing our work in the Jua Kali clusters, we have lacked finishing tools, finishing equipments. We have lacked modern work sites. We have lacked modern common user facilities. I'm looking at the Hustler Fund from a different perspective. Yes, from a personal perspective point of view, it can be used by the hustlers to borrow and eat and buy their clothes and so on. I'm looking from the entrepreneurial angle of it, where our people will improve their businesses. For example, I want to see a situation where a boda person improves and graduates from a boda to a taxi, to a Uber, to a matatu, to a bus. I would like to see a situation where a welder improves from welding from the trenches near cemeteries, from the trenches huko kwa mtaro to a modern factory area where they are producing. I want this Hustler Fund to be a bit different from the funds that we are used to, and we have seen them. Okay, they have tried their fair share, but the Hustler Fund appears to be targeting a hustler here. He is a business person. So I'm looking at a situation where the Jua Kali artisans are going to be impacted positively by accessing affordable, accessible credit and finance from this Hustler Fund.
Well, even as the individuals have access to credit products, do you think there is need for financial education for them?
Okay, I must say that, you can't just spring money on people. It has to be a package. It has to be a 360 package. It has to be accompanied by financial literacy, most of our people, as you know, they don't even keep books. They don't maintain books of accounts. They don't know how to apportion what money goes to marketing, what money goes to raw materials and so on. So financial education is a must. If there is no financial education, I'm afraid that 90% of that money is just going to evaporate. We need to accompany this, and that's why I'm saying, and I'm happy that today, this morning, I've received several letters, copies of letters of my people, our county Jua Kali representatives being called to give their submissions of the Hustler Fund and how they would like it to be done to impact their lives. So yes, financial inclusion, a lot of training, a lot of exposure, and also incubation is going to work very well for the sector.
As we take a look at financial education, perhaps how can that be implemented?
Well, when we talk about financial education, you see, most of these Jua Kali artisans are operating in one place. They're operating in productive clusters, including the cooperatives. We are looking at a situation where the people tasked with this issue around financial literacy will find ways of interacting with our people to capacity build them on skills, and especially on financial management, about the BDS, business development services, about the technical. That can come later. But this money has to be accompanied hand in hand with financial inclusion, financial training, and outreach to our people. If you tell our people to come to your office, how many people are we talking about in the informal economic sector? The last time I checked, it was around 18 million. I believe that the informal economic sector, majority of who are in the micro and small enterprises, are now approaching to 20 million. We have to find a very creative way of reaching out to these small businesses and educate them. And we have also to know one thing. Even without the Hustler Fund, we have been operating. We have been getting money from Shylocks. We have been getting money from so many places, plus Fuliza. We are looking at a situation where the Hustler Fund is coming now to look at those issues of affordability, of interests, of flexibility, of patience money, patience capital, where our people can be empowered holistically so that they can move from where they are to the next level. So that our Masai market women can move from sitting on the floor when they are selling this country in tourism, selling elephants and giraffes that our tourists have seen in the tourist attraction centers while they are seated on the floor. We would like this fund to capacity build them so that they are able to come with stools, tables, and display measures.
Well, thank you so much. That was Richard Muteti, the CEO of the Federation of Jua Kali Association. Thank you for gracing us with your presence, sir. And for now, we proceed to a different story.
Thank you very much.
Accredited engineers have been warned against the misuse of verified stamps being used to permit faulty projects. Water, Sanitation and Irrigation Cabinet Secretary Ali Sohome says the government plans to exclusively engage local engineers in the construction of the 100 Dams project to boost the engagement of Kenyan professionals, but only for the premise of valid certification.
About 40% of Kenyans do not have access to clean and safe water, and over 70% do not have access to proper sanitation facilities. This is a concern to the government that plans to step up construction of more water infrastructure to cater to the growing population.
Where we are in terms of provision of water access, we are like year 2000, and we need to move faster, about 20 years behind. So we need huge investment, and that's why the government is going out in a big way to discuss with partners.
Come up with a regulatory framework so that the development can be done in a very good professional ways.
This is expected to be fast-tracked through public-private partnerships between the government and local investors and professionals. Furthermore, the Cabinet Secretary says climate-smart facilities would be prioritized to ensure stalled projects are transformed to cater to the current climate crisis.
Using resources in a way that does not compromise the environment or deplete the materials for the future generations.
Ensuring that the processes of land acquisition are faster. Surveyors, land economics, valuers, because of valuation. I think it's one area that can employ very many people. Of course, when we are developing these resources, Kenyans with their knowledge and skills in that space will be included.
She said this during the launch of the Sustainable Engineering Convention, where players in the sector highlighted the need to adjust training in higher institutions to encompass resilient and climate-conscious courses.
So that we can link the academia with the industry. And we are also making this very practical because we have started a pilot under the State Department of Roads. We shall be expanding this to other state departments where we are linking the academia with the industry. They
said Kenya is still deficient in certified and accredited engineers, and particularly internationally recognized professionals. Hibak Said for Lunchtime News.
Have you defaulted on your mobile loan and been blacklisted? If so, you have until the end of May next year to have your credit score reviewed. This is after the central bank and regulated lenders sealed a deal that will see 4.2 million blacklisted digital borrowers access discounts of at least 50%.
It's a sign of relief for over 4.2 million digital borrowers who had been blacklisted by credit reference bureaus for defaulting on their loans after the central bank announced a framework to restructure their credit standing. In a notice, the central bank says it is rolling out a credit repair framework aimed at improving the credit standing of mobile phone digital borrowers who accessed loans from regulated digital credit providers. Central Bank Governor Dr. Patrick Njoroge says the framework, which will cover loans with a repayment period of 30 days or less, was agreed upon by the commercial banks, microfinance banks and mortgage finance institutions that offer the loans. The institutions have a pledge to offer a discount of at least 50% of the non-performing mobile phone digital loans outstanding as at the end of last month. Borrowers and the financial institutions are being advised to enter into a 6-month repayment plan to clear the outstanding loans of about 30 billion shillings, a move that will see the borrower's credit score go up. The notice says upon expiry of the framework, the credit standing of the borrowers with respect to these loans will depend on their repayment performance during the 6-month period. The framework is meant to support borrowers who were adversely impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic, access credit and other financial services as they rebuild their livelihoods. Weri Mojenga for Lunchtime News.
Now we'll cross over to Jogoo House, where Nairobi Governor Sakaja and the Inspector General of Police Japheth Koome are addressing.
For discussion this afternoon, the Governor of the city of Nairobi, he has come up with very good ideas on how to manage security challenges, safety-related issues regarding our city. And the governor has committed himself this morning that he's going to make the Nairobi City County Policing Authority operational soon as possible. This is anchored in law, is in the National Police Service Act, and this authority, according to National Police Service Act, the governor is the chairperson. That act says he can delegate to his deputy. Other members of that authority is the county police commander, county police CID commander, the National Intelligence Service coordinator within the city, the chairman of the security committee within the city, that is the county commissioner, then 2 elected members of the county assembly, nominated by the county assembly. Then various other groups are represented in that policing authority. We have the women are represented, the youth are represented, people with the special needs are represented, community-based organizations are represented, faith-based organizations are represented, business community, and the 17 constituencies within the city are represented within that county policing authority. And we feel as a service that will be a game changer. Once that authority is operational, that will be a game changer in terms of policing this city. Also, we have agreed immediately we shall have the traffic and safety committee operational. There are a lot of challenges regarding management of traffic issues in the city, and that is one area we immediately want to ensure there is order in the city. Kile tumesema na tuko na governor amesema hata yeye kabisa aruhusu, awezi ruhusu na hata kubali kutetea mkora yote yako pale nje. Mtu ambaye anafikiria atakimbia kwa gavana wakati anafukuzwa na polisi, is being pursued by police, atakimbia kwa gavana, tulete siasa kwa mambo ya polisi. Gavana ametuambia hapana, yule ni mkora, ahudumiwe kama mkora. Gavana amesema kuna vijana kadhaa, kuna vijana wengi wanatuma ujumbe kwake wakimweleza tuko na bunduki na tungependa kupeana kwa polisi. Tumekubaliana kwa mkutano wetu leo, hawa vijana tumewapatia mwezi moja. Tumekubali tuwapatia mwezi moja. Hiyo bunduki uko nayo ambaye is illegal, you are unlawfully holding that fire. Uko na hiyo bunduki kusumbua wananchi wetu watukufu. Hiyo bunduki rudisha kwetu. Au anatuma ujumbe kwa governor. Governor anajua, amekubali kutueleza, ndio tuchukue hiyo bunduki. Tumepeana mwezi moja. Na sisi tumesema yeyote ambaye anatisha wananchi, anaweka woga kwa wananchi, kutembea na visu, huyo tutamhudumia. Maofisa wetu kama vile nilisema juzi, tumewafunza kule Kiganjo na college yetu ya Embakasi zote mbili njia ya kutumia bunduki. Imeelezwa vizuri kwa kisheria, kwa sheria wakati polisi anaruhusiwa kutumia bunduki. Sasa kama unatembea na kisu, unatembea na bunduki, hapana. Bunduki si simu unatembea nayo, hiyo ni ya kudhuru mwingine. Kwa hivyo tutakushughulikia vile natakikana kisheria. Our officers, we have told them to be humane, friendly, treat our people with dignity. But anybody trying to cause trouble, tukubaliane wenzetu. Sisi tunataka kuishi na tufurahie kuishi. Kwa hivyo nafikiri, I think this is now I wish to is the opportunity to humble opportunity to now request His Excellency Governor Sakaja Edesa Yoka.
Asante sana.
Karibu.
Thank you.
So karibu usungumza na wananchi wa ile jiji.
Asante sana Inspector General wa Police, DIGs, DIG Mbugwa na DIG Gabo, DCI, and the entire team at our police headquarters, na pia ile team ambao tumekuja nayo kutoka kwa county. Wanahabari, asanteni sana. I will not say much more, just to reiterate what the Inspector General, and I'm very grateful to be one of his first visitors since he took oath of office, as well as DCI. We are in full congruence. We have agreed on a number of issues that need to be sorted out. Nairobi is an important global hub. It's not just important for us in Nairobi, but the world over. This is the capital of our region, and there must be order. As you all know, throughout the electioneering period, and even after, we have said that we seek to have a city of order and dignity, hope and opportunities. And that order means everybody knowing the rules and abiding by those rules. I'm very happy and I thank the IG for a very warm reception. They are very receptive to the ideas that we have shared on how to restore sanity and order in Nairobi County. That one we will do without flinching. We will cooperate with the National Police Service. Indeed, security is a national function, but it is a shared responsibility. The county will do its part. We have agreed on the steps that we will take as a county government, including setting up the county policing authority, including the traffic and safety authority committee that should be meeting, because we've had too many people doing different things and working in silos. We all serve the same people, and I'm glad that that is the spirit I found here, that we all care about the safety and security of the 5 million plus people of Nairobi, as well as our visitors who come to see us in this great county. And so there are a lot of changes we've discussed that will come out later through the proper channels. There are a lot of interventions you will see. We have cameras in the county. We have surveillance efforts that we are doing together. We have our enforcement officers in the county government who will work hand in hand with the police officers. And so we are telling our young people, or those who might be involved in the recent spate of crime, please, for your own good, desist from it. I think you've been told in advance. I said it yesterday and I'm repeating today. As a county government and as a political leader, ours is to provide opportunities. We will provide opportunities. We'll provide opportunities for business. We have our TVET colleges. We'll provide opportunities to help the private sector employ you. But please, the two things that we will not agree on, and I'm very happy the IG has reiterated what I told him. I have told my members of parliament, I have told my MCAs, the two people I will never protect is one who is involved in crime and one who is involved in illegal dumping. Because also, we have a responsibility to clean our city. We are doing our part, but people are being allowed to dump in places they are not supposed to. So on those two things, hapo tutakosana ama tutakuwa marafiki, depending on how you deal with those. So without going into much more details, I want to assure the people of Nairobi that with our new IG, with the DIGs we've had, with the new DCI, and of course with your new governor, this city will have order. We will not sleep, we will not rest until you are able to sleep at home peacefully, until you are able to rest, until you can walk freely. We don't want our ladies clutching their bags in town because of fear of being mugged. So I want to thank you for being receptive. Thank you for your ideas. We have confidence as Nairobians. The IG has served in Nairobi. He has been OCPD in Central. He has been in Buruburu. He has been for many years. And the leaders who I was with earlier in the day have a lot of confidence in you. So I want to reiterate that confidence. And I want to assure people of Nairobi we will not let you down. Asanteni sana.
Questions? Well, welcome to the office. Question number 1. Are we giving timelines to this policing authority? And are we only talking about Nairobi, or it is something that will be replicated in other counties? Because we have been receiving reports of this. Question number 2. Have you in any way had...
That was Nairobi County Governor Johnson Sakaja and the Inspector General of Police, Japheth Koome, giving an update on the security status of Nairobi County. We shall be bringing you updated details in our subsequent bulletins. For now, that brings us to a close here on Lunchtime News. My name is Jackie Wembiro. Our sign language interpreter is Lensa Odingo. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Utanileteaje mtu ambaye haelewi hata Kiswahili? Tutaelewana mimi na yeye kivipi? Ama ataelewana na customer kivipi?
Umechelewa. What is the time now?
Sina saa.
Unagocha wakati unataka, unafikiria yeye ni business yako.
Mpira yana imeshika kushika.
Motobe.
Pira dialekeloa kumalizika. Sasa vile lekeloa na meme agachelewa kulala na kuamuka.
Kucha tuweke hapa. Hii vitu ndogo ndogo ndio sitaki mimi.
Weka. Mugaka sina kuambia hii maneno.
FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 preview series. It's the last dance for one of the greatest ever. We're with Cristiano Ronaldo's Portugal. But first, it's Lionel Messi and the 2021 Copa America champions, Argentina.
Hoy en día la selección argentina es un interrogante.
No importa si Argentina no lo gana.
Es una pregunta. Si sabrá la respuesta una vez que participe en el próximo campeonato del mundo.
Lo que importa es que Argentina lo puede ganar.
Bueno, claro, es algo que todo el mundo tiene en la cabeza, pero tenemos que ser conscientes que gana solo uno de 32, que el argentino sabe que este equipo va a dar todo hasta el final.
Lionel Scaloni, en quienes muchos no tenían mucha fe, y me incluyo, cuando él fue nombrado, y todos los observadores dudábamos que sea un proyecto a la larga, digamos, parecía como una solución interina.
Para nuestro entrenador Lionel Scaloni, el viaje a la cima fue rápido. 2 años como asistente, primero en el Sevilla y luego con la selección nacional, fueron sus únicas experiencias como entrenador antes de ser empujado al puesto más alto en 2018.
Cuando uno decide ser entrenador, al final es por vocación o porque le gusta, y más allá de la categoría donde dirija, siempre la pasión es la misma. Es verdad que yo empecé, digamos, en lo más alto, que es la selección argentina.
Lo más importante que aportó Scaloni fue la unión de grupo. Yo creo que es un técnico joven, pero lo mejor que tiene es una gran persona.
Argentina se clasificó al Mundial segundo después de Brasil. Se clasificaron invictos.
Pero bien, hicimos una buena clasificación, creo que para arriba, y bueno, estamos bien, ahora estamos confiados, y aunque falta para el inicio del Mundial, creo que estamos sabiendo realmente lo que queremos.
Ha rendido y ha rendido muy bien. Es un equipo solidario, un equipo inteligente para jugar y un equipo con atrevimiento.
La escaloneta ha probado varias formaciones y ha probado varios jugadores. Me parece que esto de la alineación es un poco fantasioso, y que lo que realmente importa es la sintonía entre los jugadores. El recién llegado que hay que mirar con muchísima atención es claramente Julián Álvarez. Pero también hay personajes maravillosos como Cristian Cuti Romero.